Happy Tuesday! I'm the Prep Queen, Ariel Epstein. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I am very excited about today's show. We've got some great guests coming up, and of course, we're going to talk about what's going on with the NFL. We have a new Olympic sport that we can potentially see in 2028. Major League Baseball drama on the internet. I'm not even going to address the WNBA drama going on between RG3 and Ryan Clark. I'm not getting myself in trouble. Great guests. We've got Mark Zinno coming on at 5:10 p.m. Eastern time. He's going to talk about Major League Baseball and the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs Western Conference Finals are tonight. Game 1 between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder. WNBA is also in action tonight. So, of course, my good friend Hakeem Profit is going to come on the show, talk WNBA, talk NBA playoffs. The Knicks play tomorrow, so New York City is going to be absolute fire. The Yankees are back in action tonight as well, so I'll be watching that as they take on the Texas Rangers, and it's Patrick Corbin Day, unfortunately. The Yankees and their numbers against lefties recently haven't been that great, so I have decided to not take anything to fade Patrick Corbin. Shawn Michaels' favorite person is Hakeem. Caitlin Clark Day in the WNBA. They play tonight at 7 p.m. If you watched the show yesterday, then you did see that my good friend, Coach James Young, gave out a way to play her, Caitlin Clark, to make some money off her on her props. I think in an hour, that's scheduled to post on the Prop Queen Sports Twitter page or X page if you want to check it out in case you missed it. You can also always subscribe to the YouTube channel at Prop Queen Sports. You never have to miss a guest, see all of our segments, and make sure to get all the best prop trends and edges for the day. I guess we'll do where Prop Queen went right first. Yesterday in the newsletter, it didn't really give out that much yesterday. The fishy line cash, the Red Sox beat the Mets 3-1. That was the Mets post-Sunday night baseball hangover. More drama with Juan Soto. I already touched on everything yesterday, so I'm not going to bore you guys with more New York sports talk because you're probably over it, and I'll probably talk a lot about it as the Knicks play tomorrow. Anyway, Juan Soto didn't hustle out of the box, and there was all this manager problem with Mendoza saying after the game he was going to talk to Soto, and then Soto said he was hustling. Soto did steal a base right after I think it was the one where he hit the green monster and was kind of just coasting down for his baseline. It seems like a problem. It's not my problem, so I'm leaving it alone. Jessica Brand's Hunter Dobbins under 4.5 Ks prop hit as Dobbins punched out 2 Mets in 4 2/3 innings. Where the Prop Queen newsletter went wrong, Mitch Keller sucked. He lost by 1 in 6 innings. The Rockies did not cash the full game fishy line. However, despite the Rockies losing 9-3 to the Phillies, that all came in the 8th and 9th inning. The Rockies would have cashed a first 5 money line if you were to have taken that. They were up 2-1 after 5. So the Rockies actually did hold their own until the 8th inning. So it was kind of fishy. Christopher Sanchez did not go over Jessica Brand's 5.5 hits prop. He allowed 5 hits in 6 innings. Now everyone's bashing Soto. He's hitting 3 home runs tonight. Where's the Soto shuffle, guys? Isn't that where his energy and emotion? I've been seeing, and I know now I'm in the algorithm, so I'm seeing all of this stuff. There were so many videos to social media in the last 48 hours about Juan Soto's energy levels and excitement when he was on the field as a Yankee. You're not seeing any videos of him all pumped up and excited as a Met. Remember, the Yankees were on a hot streak last year in April, too. The Mets have been hot. They were in first place up until yesterday. So why is Soto not as energetic as he was as a Yankee? That's all I'm going to say. That's yesterday's news. Today's news, the NFL has reported that NFL players are allowed to play in the 2028 Summer Olympics flag football. So I decided to ask people on X what their thoughts were and their interest levels on flag football. And no one's interested. 74%. The chat, I would love for you guys to tell me what you guys think about your interest levels of NFL players in the Summer Olympics playing flag football. I'll tell you this. I was thinking of it from a fan perspective. I wasn't thinking about it from a player perspective. Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson said he's at a loss for words because he actually will get a chance to play for a gold medal, which is, you could tell, like, football players don't get that chance. People don't get to play in the NFL for, like, their country ever. Like, they don't get to play in an Olympic. They don't get to play in, like, a World Baseball Classic. We keep these players in the NFL in such a bubble that we're too nervous to let them do anything outside of the NFL. I kind of do feel for the players that it's cool they'll be able to do this. Now, on the flip side, Ravens head coach John Harbaugh said, I'm afraid I have a quarterback that'd probably be pretty good at it, so no, I'm not that excited about that, in all honesty. I believe in America. I want gold medals, but that's the concern. Every NFL fan is going to be watching flag football. And they're going to be, like, completely on edge. If I'm watching Lamar Jackson in the Summer Olympics playing flag football, as much as I would love for America to have the most gold medals in all of the Olympics, first of all, I don't know. I'm really bad with change. I'm not really good with it. Like, I'm not good with Major League Baseball changing rules. I'm not good with the NFL changing rules. I'm a really old school person. It's flag football. It's not, I don't know, are we going to deem that a legitimate sport for the Olympics? I don't know if it's worth Lamar Jackson tearing his ACL in the Summer Olympics for. We've got a lot of other people. We're not a small country. We've got a lot of other sports to participate in. It's also flag football. It's not that entertaining. Our players do so many other entertaining things throughout the course of the NFL season. Nonetheless, this is the Summer Olympics. So now, how is that going to take our players into training camp and then into the NFL season? That's exhausting. I know it kind of helps you get into shape. It's just a lot of extra work because they're going to be exerting their energy a lot more than they normally would have. At least the NBA, when they play in the Olympics, the NBA gets another, like, 2 months off before their season starts. The Summer Olympics will end, and these players are going straight to training camp. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it. It's not worth it. Like, at least if you're playing baseball, if you're playing basketball, you're playing, like, the legit sport. Basketball, meh. I mean, I know it's, like, cool because it's the NBA. Like, it's a lot of all-stars, but the talent pool is not great compared to, like, 2 countries in the NBA. And nonetheless, the basketball Olympic teams, like, it's never, like, I think we always have argued that the NBA, like, the basketball Olympic teams have always been less defensively focused, not as great of a quality of basketball, which I guess we're complaining about anyway throughout the NBA, except the playoffs. The NBA playoffs have been good. But you're right. They're not playing flag hoops. They're playing a game. I am just very worried about it. That's not what you want for the Olympics. Leave it to the college kids. That's true, too. Like, can the college kids even participate? I don't know about you know what's interesting? I don't know if you guys know this, but in gymnastics, you cannot be an Olympian if you go to college, which is why they all go to college after the Olympics. In gymnastics, it is deemed that you are a professional, which means that in gymnastics in college, you can't, like, once you go to gymnastics, like, for college, you're an amateur, and, like, then you can't be on the Olympic team, and vice versa. So you really can't, like, in gymnastics, it doesn't work that way. So I'm very curious what they would do about college players. I just really have no interest. I have no interest in watching my NFL players play flag football. I think it's so stupid. It's a stupid sport. Like, cool if you play it recreationally. It's not worth tearing an ACL over. And then one last thing before I bring on our first guest of the day. I'm very good friends with Red Sox super fan Jared Carabas, but he talks smack about my guy Mark. My guy Mark is the head of the roll call at the Bleacher Creatures at Yankee Stadium. He, like, called him mean names. He was making fun of him, called him, I think, like, a nerd or something. You know, this guy goes to, like, every game, sacrifices his life for his team. The Red Sox have some, like, weird-ass green goblin as their mascot. We've got a real human being. We turned our back on Juan Soto because he turned our back on us. Come on. People don't watch the Pro Bowl. Correct, they don't. Dodgeball. That's about it. Anyway, I'm bringing on the next guest. Let's get his thoughts on this. My good friend Mark Zinno joining the show. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, how you doing? Couldn't agree more. No interest in watching NFL players. Here's my angle is simply this. Like, the Olympics is supposed to be about competition and it's supposed to be fair. I don't need to see NFL players dominate Guatemala 47-0 in a flag football game. That's not interesting to me. It's the same take I have towards Team USA basketball. Call me when they lose. I have no interest in watching otherwise. It's not news. I don't care. They're expected to win.
It's an interesting point you bring up because the Olympics were really meant to be about amazing amateur athletes.
Yes.
It was meant to bring the spotlight to amateurs. It was meant to bring the spotlight to sports that we don't normally watch. Now we're making this a star-studded contest. Exactly. I just don't find any interest in this.
What other country on the world plays as much American football as we do?
Right.
Answer, America. Let the amateurs have a go at it. If they start getting smoked, okay, then let's have a conversation like, hey, we need to have a better showing. This is the Olympics. But I kind of feel like the Americans who are playing flag football now could probably win the gold medal. You don't need Jamar Chase there. You just don't. Like, I see no value.
Also, how is this going to impact the players going right into training camp and right into a season?
I mean, look, we've seen baseball struggle with this with the World Baseball Classic similarly, right?
Trey Turner
is no longer in the Olympics. It's this choice that these guys make. It changes their spring training. Some guys it has an effect on the regular season. Some guys it doesn't. It's at a weird time. And oh, by the way, guess what? We're not any good at it. America isn't. That's it. We don't win this thing. We barely get to the finals. So, I mean, yeah, I see a point to us doing it because we don't win it all the time, but no one's going to beat us in football. Like, what's the point? No one has the athletes we do in football. What's the point?
So Sean said Olympics are in August, right? They start in July. They go into August. So they probably would. My guess is that they'll put flag football at the beginning because some sports wrap up earlier than others. Then they'll go straight to training camp. And again, similar to World Baseball Classic, you could look at it like getting revved up for the season. Sure. They're just going at full force now. And I love baseball, and it definitely does have impacts on certain players. It's not as crazy as these football players could get trying to play flag football.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think they're going to be going that much harder than they did in the Pro Bowl? Did you watch the Pro Bowl flag football game?
No.
Because I caught a little bit of it.
I didn't watch any of it. Yes, and I think they will go harder because the Pro Bowl means nothing, and the Olympics means that they could win a gold medal.
I suppose so. But I guess what I'm pointing out here is, and oh, by the way, Russell Wilson still throws picks in flag football games, so the Giants have something to look forward to. But beyond that, I think that these guys, they're going to outpace everyone. They don't have to go full bore.
I wonder if we'll put odds up. We don't really put odds up on a lot in the Olympics, but I feel like the books are going to try to.
Oh, they will, because NFL people will bite 100%.
Yeah, like there's going to be one sport that they totally let us bet on, and it's going to be the freaking flag football game.
They'll have anytime touchdown props for it, right?
Fair point.
They'll have touchdown thrower props for the quarterbacks, depending on
anytime touchdown props would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean that's really it. Will there be a defensive touchdown, yay or nay kind of props?
Number of flags.
Right. I don't think they'll do yards or interception. All the player props that you normally see, you'd probably get with minus the yards. I don't think they'll count the yards. Because remember,
I kind of am enjoying this now. If I could bet on flag football with anytime touchdown props. Okay, it's growing on me. I'm going to come up with some more props. Let's talk about what we could actually bet on today. You've got your card. We've got a few baseball plays, a little NBA. Let's start with baseball. Reds, Pirates, first 5 under. Why?
If it's not broken, don't fix it. I mean, the Pirates couldn't score in a whorehouse with a fistful of hundreds. So that's that. Red starter Nick Martinez probably even more effective. He went 7 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs last time out against the White Sox, which is a very comparable lineup to the Pirates. Here's where the real kind of handicap is. Bailey Falter, left-hander Bailey Falter, starts for Pittsburgh. This guy's my nemesis. Every time I bet on him, he screws up. Every time I bet against him, he wins. But nonetheless, the Reds can't hit left-handed pitching. They're the 5th lowest batting average, 8th highest K rate. Falter's much better at home. He's held opponents to a 188 batting average the first time through the order at home. Pirates are also dead last in first 5 inning runs scored at 1.64 at home this year. So again, I think Bailey Falter could take care of the Reds lineup, considering the lefties numbers that the Reds have, and we'll stay under 4.5 here.
Braves run line, -1.5. Spencer Strider returns. How are you so ballsy as to be back in Strider coming off the IL?
Okay, so I have obviously covered Strider his entire career here in Atlanta, so I'm familiar with him and his preparation and everything. It's not his first start of the year. He made a start back in January, made a start back in April against the Toronto Blue Jays. So he's ready and raring to go. But here's where this thing really tilts for me. One, Strider has had great success against the Nationals in his career. 4-1 in 5 starts, all 4 of those wins by 2 runs or more. Furthermore, the Braves seem to love playing in DC, Ariel. Since 2020, they are a whopping 26-10 straight up. That's 72% in Nats Park. Strangely, 4 of those losses, 10 losses in DC, came last year for Atlanta when they had a really down year. Since 2020, the Braves are 50-28 against the Nationals overall. Only 11 of those 50 wins have been by 1 run. So there's only 2 ways to bet this. Braves on the run line or Nationals money line, right? Because it seems like the Braves blow them out or the Nationals win outright. Braves bat seem to have woken up over the last week. 305 batting average over the last week, led Major League Baseball, 6th in runs scored, 5th in OPS and WRC+. I'm hopeful that continues tonight. I know Mitchell Parker could be a little bit of a tougher pitcher than you expect, but the Atlanta Bats will still have some extra chances against the Nats bullpen that's 2nd worst in ERA and bullpen whip. So we'll lay the 1.5 here.
How confident are you that Spencer Strider stays off the IL?
I mean, look, it's a hammy thing. It's a lower body for him, and that's concerning because for a guy who throws that hard, it's all coming
has that
from
big of legs.
Right. It's all coming from his hips and his ass. I mean, that's what it is. It's the old Roger Clemens body frame, right? It's the old CC Sabathia body frame where everything is in your tush and in your quads, and he's got huge ones. So I am a little bit concerned from that. It could be a nagging thing, but he takes great care of himself. I just genuinely believe that, they'll definitely keep him slow tonight. He's probably not going more than 5. He's probably not throwing more than 75, 80 pitches. But again, if the Braves are that shut down by Mitchell Parker here tonight, then they're in trouble from the get-go. If they don't get to him early, my chance, even though it's the Nats bullpen, they probably won't do much late, and I'll be screwed regardless. I didn't want to lay the half run in the first 5 just simply because I didn't want to take the Nats bullpen out of it. And the price wasn't good. It was around -140, and I just wasn't comfortable in that range. I'm getting a -110 here with the Braves at -1.5. I get all 9 at bats because they're the road team, so I don't have to worry about that. Nats bullpen, Strider back, enough for me here.
It's funny because you look at before we get to the rest of your card, you look at the futures odds. Obviously, if you were just to look at social media, you would think that the Mets are 3-60 on the season and that they suck. You would think that the Phillies and the Braves would be like, it's interesting to me that you've got the Mets still at +110, the Phillies +140, Braves at +360. And yeah, I mean, it correlates to the World Series odds. Like the Mets are at +850, Phillies 12-1, Braves 14-1. There's value on the Braves with Acuna coming back.
Yes, there is. The real thing is if they start hitting again, I think they're going to be fine to win the division. I don't think this is a World Series team. I just don't. I think their bullpen's got a ton of questions.
What about a division-winning team at +360?
Yes, there is a real possibility there. But remember, I'll just keep bringing this back up. It would be history if they did it. Every team that has started 0-7, only 2 of them have finished above 500, and none of them have ever made the playoffs. Now you get a 7th wild card here, so could they sneak in? Yes, probably. They could still sneak in the 7th wild card, but that looms large.
Yankees team total over 4.5. Another play that you like tonight. Patrick Corbin's on the mound for the Texas Rangers.
Haven't we had enough? Am I allowed to say a bad word here? Haven't we had enough?
Yeah.
Have we had enough of this Patrick Corbin shit? Aren't we done with him being a semi-quality starter? I've had enough of this. It's really starting.
Right? Like it has to end at some point.
It does because history tells me it will. Look, 5 of his starts, right? He's faced 2 legitimate lineups in Seattle and Detroit. It's a really strange thing because the team has lost 3 games with him. They've all lost him 2-1. And both games they won for him, they scored 8 runs. And that was against the Athletics in Colorado. Like the 3 lineups he's faced the Athletics twice in Colorado. He hasn't just really faced a lineup like this. Now, some people like tell you the Yankees are feast or famine. They're coming off the big series win over the Mets. Could be a huge letdown spot. Sure. But it is the bandbox we call Yankee Stadium, and they hit pretty well there. And Patrick Corbin is a lefty, and the Yankees murder left-handed pitching. So
Aaron Judge is murdering left-handed pitching.
Yes, so it's like I've had enough of this. Maybe this is an emotional play, and it's probably stupid for me to do it, but I just want to see Patrick Corbin get rocked once again, so all can be right with the world. And it feels like this is a good spot for the Yankees to do it. Can't take the Yankees here because Will Warren. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. I would rather have you on the mound than Will Warren. Okay?
Oh, thanks.
So he's that terrible. But people have said, well, just take the over. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Just take the over. But if the Yankees don't get to 5 runs, guess what? Texas ain't getting to 7. This is a lineup that can't hit. So I don't know what to do. So I just took the Yankees team total.
Yeah, I mean, I saw in the MLB research team packet that Aaron Judge, I signed out of it. I should have. Aaron Judge is hitting like 360 against lefties since, and I think like 22 home runs. I'm doing this from memorization. I have the numbers in front
While you're
of
doing
me.
it, the Yankees have scored the second most runs off left-handed pitching. They're top 5 in batting average. They're number 1 in OPS, number 1 in WRC plus against lefties. They have the highest walk rate against lefties. And they're in the bandbox that's Yankee Stadium with a short porch in right field.
Aaron Judge against lefties since 2024, hitting 338 with 22 home runs and 160 at-bats. But ready for this one. This one might shock you all. DJ LeMahieu.
Oh, I saw it.
Against Patrick Corbin.
Oh, my God. If he's not in the lineup tonight, I'm going to punch Aaron Boone.
DJ LeMahieu against Patrick Corbin is hitting 379 in 58 at-bats. 6 home runs.
DJ LeMahieu home run prop. Let's go. Is he in the lineup tonight?
What?
Is he in the lineup tonight? Do we know? Let me see. The lineups
I didn't
they
see
have been
them post
posted.
the lineup yet.
LeMahieu is batting. He's batting 7th.
Yeah. LeMahieu crushes him.
We have to get a DJ LeMahieu home run prop in here tonight, Ariel. Just
Judge
for kicks
hitting
and giggles.
485 with 7 homers against lefties in 2025 and 33 at-bats. Thank you, Jessica Brown, for that. Let's see what the home run props are. Aaron Judge is probably like plus 190. It's probably
I wonder if they even would list LeMahieu at this point.
I mean, he's been playing. So, yeah, Aaron Judge plus 172. That's a joke. I don't see LeMahieu. Oh, no, there he is. 9-1.
Yes, let's go.
If DJ LeMahieu hit a home run tonight, I would die laughing.
I am absolutely putting this in right now.
Jessica said BetMGM, you could get 10-1 on DJ.
100%. This is worth.
Jessica Brand, when was DJ LeMahieu's last home run?
He hit one against the other day against the Mets in the 3-2 loss. He hit the solo home run right over the first row.
Yeah. Wasn't that a pinch hit home run?
No, he started that game. I just threw a pizza bet down on it. Screw it.
Okay, go for it.
Let's go.
9-1.
9-1. That's what I got. I got 9-1.
Yeah, I forgot about that home run in the 3-2 loss on Friday.
Yeah.
Where was I?
I had the first
I was watching the Knicks. That's why I was partying on 7th Ave like an idiot.
There you go. Good for you.
Yeah, that's why I missed the home run. He says you're a Yankee homer. No, you're not.
I mean, I'm a Yankees fan, but I don't think there's any more real fan about what the Yankees
I feel
are
like
and
you
what
talk
they're
more
not.
about the Braves than the Yankees.
I mean, again, I'm not so much playing on the Yankees as I am fading Patrick Corbin. So I'm more of a Patrick Corbin hater than a Yankee homer. Is that fair?
Never seen someone so excited about DJ.
Okay.
Listen, I get excited because DJ LeMahieu was so hurt. Just remember, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where DJ LeMahieu was having an awesome season. Yep. And I was sitting in the Yankees COO's office, Lon Trost. We were watching the 7th inning together of whatever game it was, like the year that DJ got hot. He looked at me and he said, that was one of the best decisions we ever made. And this, again, was when DJ was hot. He was like, I love him. He's just a grinder. He's a contact hitter. He's the guy that we needed. And I really hope for DJ LeMahieu's sake that he could get back to that for at least another season or two of his career.
It's funny because it's strange how you bump into people. You know, I mean, obviously everybody knows that you guys are making fun of me with DJ. I was getting more excited at the fact that Ariel knew that because I had looked at it this morning and you just reminded me that
you have to bet 10-1 on DJ to hit a homer tonight.
So I apologize for my overexcitement about DJ LeMahieu. But anyway, weird small world who I bumped into his orthopedic. He told me this offseason he was retiring. He told me DJ LeMahieu told him he was retiring because the injuries were just too much that he's going to call it. So when he came back, I was very surprised that he came back. I guess he obviously had a change of heart. But
listen, if he has a great season the rest of the year this year, I could see him trying to retiring on top. But That, again, no more DJ LeMahieu. Let's go to the NBA. Minnesota Timberwolves, you're taking the points with Minnesota. You're on the same side as some other guy who's about to come on the show. So why are you taking points?
I mean, look, the Minnesota Timberwolves are not the 6th seed in the West. I know that's a number that it says next to them, but they're better than that. And if you look at their numbers the second half of the year, it's proven that they've been better than that. From December 1st to the end of the regular season, they were 7th in the NBA in points per 100 possession and 5th in points allowed per 100 possessions. They're 30-6 in the last 36 games that Julius Randle has played. That's a 68-win pace. And I say all that again because Randle missed a bunch of time this year to say that they're a better version of themselves now than they were at the beginning of the year. I think they'll have the edge on the offensive glass with Gobert and Randle on the inside. They've got the better player, in my opinion, in Anthony Edwards. All respect to SGA. He's going to win the MVP. But I don't think there's a more dynamic player of the 4 that are left between Brunson, SGA, Halliburton, and Edwards. I don't think anybody's more dynamic than Anthony Edwards. And nobody is more important to his team than Anthony Edwards. And so from that standpoint, I look at it and I just think with the Thunder coming off this big emotional Game 7 on short rest and then, having to face a well-rested Timberwolves team that'll be very sharp on the defensive end. As long as Oklahoma, and I say this kind of strangely, but as long as Oklahoma City is not bombing away from 3, which they can do, obviously, but as long as they're not making them at an ungodly rate, I think Minnesota stays in this thing. I also think it's one of those things where sprinkle a little down on the money line because the NBA playoffs are like that. The spread doesn't matter. Either the favorite wins big or the dog wins outright. And if the T-Wolves are going to steal a game in this series, their best chance is to do it tonight. I have a hard time believing they would steal one in Game 2. But I think
agree
Minnesota
that
is
this is the
undervalued.
best chance for them to steal one, if possible, just because of rest versus rust kind of thing, where you've got a team that just played in a Game 7 versus a team that's very well rested. So I'm very curious how Oklahoma City comes out.
If you'd like a little bit of a series look here.
I was going to ask you before I let you go, your NBA Finals prediction.
Well, I'll just give you this series real quick. Here's a nice little trend that's worth looking at.
You know the chat's going to kill you if you say the Knicks. Like, they're going to laugh at you because you've been talking about the Yankees.
Okay. Well, I've been laughed at more than anybody in the chat. I promise you that. So I'm not really worried about it. But courtesy of my good friend Brian Power, the last 20 times the conference finals have gone on, and the team that has played less games in the first 2 series, okay, has won 19 of the last 20, which is the Timberwolves. They have played 10 games so far. Obviously, the Thunder have played a lot more than that. So
it's great value. You've got like over 3-1.
Yep.
I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could get to that window.
I mean, here's what I'll say about the Knicks Pacers. Last year, the Knicks were a banged up version of themselves, so it's not really fair to do that. There are 2 things. There are 2 regression sets that I believe are coming. Which one do you believe is worse? Number 1, the Pacers cannot continue this shooting pace that they're on. It's just not sustainable. They're better than 50% from the field and 40% from 3 over the last 2 series. It's just, I don't think, when I say it's not sustainable at that number. Did they come back down to 46% and 37% and still win games? Yes, but that regression is coming. How hard it comes and how much it has an effect on the outcome yet to be determined. Also, the regression may be coming for the Knicks 3-point defense, which is god-awful, one of the worst in the league. And you're not going to have a team miss over 100 3-pointers in 3 losses. Like, that's not going to happen again. You can't leave the Pacers open for wide open threes like they did for the Celtics and expect them to miss them at this rate. So regression's coming for somebody here. I just don't think Indiana, their defense, I think, is going to be really what kills them. Like, my favorite play tomorrow night, honestly, and it's such a high number, it scares the hell out of me. I'll take the Knicks team total over. I just don't think 113.5, and that's a big number for the Knicks. It's a big number for the Knicks. But odds makers are telling you they don't trust the defense of the Pacers either. And when the Pacers get a lead, you know what they do? They forget about defense and said, that's fine, you can score. We're just going to keep scoring too, and you'll never catch us. And that's really the way they do it. And so they keep you in chase mode the whole way, and you can't play defense on them. So, I think there's a couple of more outs there with the Knicks team total. The way the Knicks, it's one of those things I feel like, Ariel, if the Knicks don't get to 113, 114, they probably don't get to 100 and they get their doors blown off.
Well, here's my thing on the Knicks, and I know that our next guest is going to laugh at me for probably saying this. I don't see a world that the NBA is excited about the Pacers playing anybody in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
That would just absolutely
conspiracy theories are
destroy the
coming out.
NBA.
Well, hold on. The Knicks playing the Timberwolves with the Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle trade would be a good storyline.
A great storyline. And then, no, but the Knicks playing anybody is
yes.
better than the Pacers.
Okay, then the Pacers, you mean.
anyone.
Got it. Okay, yes, got it.
Yeah, that's my point. Mark Zinno, you're awesome. Here are his plays for tonight. As you guys can see on the screen, comes on the show as like amazing. Like, you're so sweet for coming on this show as often as you do. I appreciate you so much. I know you're busy tonight, so whatever you're doing, have fun. By
the way, we're gonna miss you down in Florida. I'll be with Kelly.
You're gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there.
I know Kelly was trying to fly me down, but she offered to fly me Southwest, and I said, hell to the effing
I'll fly you on Delta. I got miles. Let's go.
I do too, but my dad's birthday is this weekend, so Dad ruined it.
Well, we'll miss you. We'll toast to you.
I'll FaceTime you guys. Have fun, safe travels, and good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Our next guest, you all know him. We all love him. His team's not in the Eastern or Western Conference Finals, but guess who it is? This girl. And if you had told this guy that at the beginning of the season, my team was going to go further than his, he probably wouldn't have spoken to me the entire year. Let's bring him on, Hakeem Profit.
That's the reason everybody loves me right now, because the Lakers are not here.
He's so excited. So excited to have you on. You changed your background.
Yeah, I had a guest in the front room earlier, so I had to go to the guest room, I guess.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to have you on. I feel like it's been forever since I've spoken to you outside of the toxic group chat we have with Kelly in Vegas. But that group chat can never see the light of day, or else you'll have to be murdered. So anyway, let's talk about the WNBA before we get back into the NBA playoffs. What did you see out of the first weekend that stood out?
I mean, I saw the Sky really suck. That stood out to me. Offensively, they're just not going to be good. That's not a team you want to be betting overs with. They have a lot of work to do. I think Connecticut is better than a lot of people thought they would be. They have a new coach, new team, but they're playing hard. It looks like, the system is going to work. And as long as, they don't lose and give up early, they look like, to me, they can make some money against the spread. Minnesota looks like they're well positioned to make it back to the finals. They've been winning in dominant fashion, even without a couple of their starters. Los Angeles, addition of Kelsey Plum is pretty good. I think that they have a team that can score with anybody, so that makes them dangerous. Phoenix also a really dangerous team. They're especially dangerous right now without Kalia Copper, because they're just not priced correctly. So, or at least they weren't in that last game. Maybe the books will catch up. But having Sabali and Alyssa Thomas, like, they can both create shots for the rest of the entire team. So Phoenix is pretty good. Washington continues to be up-tempo, over team, and the rookies that they have look like they're good, especially Sonya. Golden State, I need to watch more, and that's all I could think of right now.
No, it's a lot. We appreciate all of your weekend analysis. Well, you live out in Vegas. It's always been a topic of discussion how profitable betting the WNBA has been. Why is it so profitable?
Well, in general, over the years, not a lot of people have paid attention to it. I mean, more people are starting to pay attention now, but it's nothing compared to like the NFL or NBA, So it's just when a market is not being, I don't know, just they're not paying attention to it. That's all I'm really trying to say. That's when you can find some.
Have you felt in the last couple of years that it's gotten a little bit sharper because of how it's grown?
Well, yeah, because now, I mean, it never took a lot of money to move a line in the WNBA, and you see these lines move a lot. Before, you could really just get in. Like, now the lines move so fast if you don't bet them early, because more people are watching. Not everybody, but more people are watching, and the people who are watching are the ones who have the edge, because the books or the odds makers, or however you want to call it, this is not their main priority.
It's crazy because I saw that Caitlin Clark and the Fever actually had higher ratings on Sunday against Angel Reese than they did watching the Yankees in the Subway Series against the Mets. So with Caitlin Clark being as huge as she is, they play tonight, Indiana Fever. Have you noticed that with those games, we're seeing the public action, or maybe like there's two ways it could go, right? Either the public's all over her and she's mispriced, and her team too, or is the book sharper on them?
I think the lines kind of moved their way. Well, today it went against them, but I still think people bet the Fever whenever they see them on the card right now. And also, I think
Right.
people run to the window and go bet the over. I think people load up on Caitlin prop. So I do think the public is smashing all of those things.
But you know how, like in the NFL, when, for example, Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets and everyone was all excited about Aaron Rodgers and everyone's betting the over on the win total. And of course, the whole like injury thing happens and the under ends up hitting. But like all the sharp friends I had were betting unders on the Jets and Aaron Rodgers because they felt that the number was way too high for a Jets team just because it's Aaron Rodgers. So would you say that there's a similar thing going on in the WNBA?
Nah. I just think that I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. So tonight, we've got two games on the slate in the WNBA. We've got the Aces and the Sun, and then the Atlanta Dream and the Indiana Fever. What would you tell bettors is the best way to approach the games?
Well, first of all, my least favorite game is the Fever and the Dream. I mean, I talked about the public goes to bet the over, but it makes sense. I mean, those are people watching the games, right? And they see all the Fever do is, I mean, I'll say like this to you. If I tell you this, you'll know already. The Fever are the WNBA's Indiana Pacers. They're the exact same team. They're going to play fast all game long. They're not playing the best defense, but they're going to be able to score with the best and, run teams into the ground. It's the same for the WNBA team. So it makes sense why you get, the market pushing these games up. And for the Dream, they are missing a point guard, Jordan Canada, but they still have enough to score. I mean, the two bigs, even though Indiana has Boston, I think they'll be able to do what they do down low. Ryan Howard didn't have the best first game. I think she can have a good game in this next one. I just see a lot of ways for them to score, especially in an up-tempo game. So I lean over. But the game I really like is Connecticut and Aces. And I'm against the market, I guess, in this one. It moved from 12 to 14. I like the Sun plus 14. I think that for the Aces, they're just not where they need to be on the road laying double digits like this early in the season. They just made a big change to their team. Kelsey Plum has been a part of that rotation for years, a big part of it, and they have replaced her with Jewel Lloyd. And it's just going to take some time for that chemistry to work out, whether it's offensively in that first game. She didn't really know where to be. Spacing was kind of messed up. Defensively, it's going to take time for everybody to get on one accord. So that first game, I mean, Liberty shot 19% from three and scored 92 points. Like, that just tells you how bad the defense was for the Aces. They're just giving up like easy baskets. So until they fix that, which I don't think will be in this one game on the road, I think Connecticut has a chance. And like I mentioned earlier, new coach, new players, new system. But it looked like it was working out. The way they play is also hard to play. It's similar, like that fast playing, run teams into the ground kind of deal. And for a team that's already struggling defensively, that's it's not the easiest team to fix your defense against. I think Mabry had a bad game in that first game. She shot 5 for 21. She should play better in this one. And I think the two bigs still can score on the bigs for the Aces. So I think the Sun plus the points are the right side.
Okay. There's this WNBA action, which the chat always talks about and loves the WNBA. Let's go to the NBA. We got the Western Conference Finals starting tonight. You're also taking 7.5 tonight, just like Mark Zinno says he was going to do. Is this just because it's like OKC played a game 7?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. Listening to him talk, it just reinforced how I've been feeling as longer the day goes on. It just makes me sick that everybody's betting the Timberwolves and I'm on the Timberwolves. It's everybody saying the same exact thing, and it just makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
I understand. I get the same feeling. Sometimes the public prevails, but it really sucks to be on the same side as what everyone else is doing.
Well, I'll say yes, the situation. Obviously, you can't ignore that. But just in general, I see a lot of ways for Timberwolves to have success. One, you obviously can play up tempo versus like I don't think the Thunder's defense in this first game is going to be the best defense we're going to see from them in this series. I think it's going to take some time for them to adjust. So one, I think you can play up tempo to avoid what is the number one defense, and that's what the coach was talking about for the Timberwolves. And two, in the half court, I think Julius Randle is just a mismatch. Like they don't have anybody that they can put on him that like he can score on anybody. So until they double him or take the ball out of his hand, I think he's a mismatch in the half court. So I think the Timberwolves have a chance to win. So that's a combination of all those things are why I take the plus 7.5. I talked about them, playing up tempo versus good defense. And if you look at, I believe all 4 games this season have cleared. I bet it at 215, but they all were 217 plus. Um, I just think this game is going to be played the same way. So plus 7.5 over. I mean, I still endorse over 218, but just to be transparent, I played over 215.
I figured you had a better number, but I already was like, he sends me T-Wolves and over. I go, so we go in points? We go in money line? Like, what are we doing here, Hakeem? And at that point, I said, you know what? F it. I'm just going to put the live line, and we're going to just talk about it. Figured you bet these already. When it comes to props for this game, because I love my props, so we're going to talk about it. But before we dive in player by player, how do you assess these games when there's not a lot of a sample size? Because going back, there's only one game that Mr. Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle played out of the 4 against OKC this season.
Just matchups and how I expect teams to attack each other from what I've been watching. That's just really what it is. So I'm not so much looking at. I mean, I do look at numbers, obviously, but it's not. I don't look at regular season numbers at all, really. I mean, or not saying at all. It's the last thing I look at. The first thing I'm looking at is how do they match up? What am I expecting to happen tonight? So I think I sent you 3 players that I have, interesting thoughts about. I did end up playing one as the day went on.
You did?
Yeah.
Who did you play?
Maybe I should let you guess after we talk about it. Or do you want to know?
Did you play Julius Randle?
No.
We were just talking about him before about it. You thought it was a mismatch.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I didn't though. So Julius Randle, I did not play him because I feel like yes, he's a mismatch. He can take advantage of them, but I think we're paying a premium for him right now because he's been playing so well in the playoffs. So I just think because of that, we can take a better option out of the 3. That's my thought. I don't think
I was riding Rand. Well, that sounds horrible. I was riding with Randle props. Yep, I stopped myself. I was riding with Randle props for the entire post Steph Curry injury part of that series because for whatever reason, when Steph Curry's out, power forwards have had a ton of success against Golden State. So I was going with Julius Randle over points. Then that got a little high, and I was going over points and rebounds. So I was loving him in the last series. However, you're right. Probably it's not as much of a premium as I thought we'd be paying. It's his points prop tonight wasn't too bad. I think I saw it at. I'll double check it now.
Well, I know his PRA number was like higher than what he averages.
Yeah, it's 19.5, which is still a little bit high because we got him at 18.5 in the Golden State series, like in game 3. So now he's up to 19, and we got him to as high as 22.5 at the end of that series. So 19.5, I just feel like it's still going to be too high. He only had 9 in the first game.
Yeah, I would use PRA on him just because, if they do double him, he's going to pass, and that'll just be open shots for other people. So it's one of those games where, especially, game 1 fill-out game, I would just do PRA for him. But I'm not taking it for the reasons I said earlier.
Well, Sean Michael says he thinks that you're going with Gobert tonight.
Absolutely not. But, I mean, I could. I was
going to say, that would be real ballsy.
I like Naz Reid for a reason similar about the Gobert prop, but I was thinking Gobert unders. I was thinking that like when I think about Minnesota playing on the offensive side, the one thing the Thunder can do is like, kind of leave Rudy Gobert to do whatever and just like double Ant or double Julius Randle. And if the T-Wolves are smart, they're not going to continue to leave him out there to do that. They're going to put in Naz Reid. So I was thinking Gobert unders, but I just like Naz Reid overs more. And the opposite of Julius Randle. He had a couple low scoring games, so we're buying low on Naz Reid. I feel like 15
Why
and a
does he
half
match up well against OKC?
because Gobert's going to have to be off the court. And if Gobert's off the court, Naz Reid is getting all the minutes. Naz Reid also is a floor spacer and gives Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards space to work. So when you look at his games versus OKC, this is one you could do. 4 games, he averaged 33.5 points and rebounds. On the season, he averages 20.2. His prop tonight is 15 and a half because he had a couple of low scoring games in the last series. But this is one they're going to need him. I think he'll get extended minutes. And 15 and a half doesn't seem like too much to ask for me. So that's the one that I went with.
I like the thought on buying low on Naz Reid because Rudy Gobert's props are always going to be paying a premium on him. And he hasn't been good in the playoffs. Why does he drop off Gobert so much in the playoffs, except for, it's like one great game?
I like Sergio's comment.
Which one? Oh, this one.
Oh, my God. All right, yeah. So Naz Reid is the one to go with for me.
Okay, I like it. There were also some interesting trends that I saw, and I wrote about them on the PropQueen.com newsletter, so I'll run them by you on some of these NBA props. Anthony Edwards points props 25 and a half. He only went over it in one of the 4 games against the Thunder. He had 29 points at home in Minnesota. I feel like Anthony Edwards, you could be playing a bit of a premium on too tonight, Hakeem.
That sounds right. And when I think about it, like the Thunder, if anything, their game plan is going to be not to let Anthony Edwards beat them, probably. So, I would look maybe more for his assist or maybe rebounds and assists for him, even versus points.
Right. His points I would stay away from tonight. SGA, great numbers this year against Minnesota. Again, all relative to the T-Wolves not having Gobert or Randle in 3 of those 4 games. But SGA put up 40, 24, 37, and 39 points. He has a 31 and a half points prop.
That seems like a little bit much. I feel like Minnesota is too good of a defensive team to just let SGA go off. Like, I think their game plan is going to be to get the ball out of his hands and see what other people can do. So I think that could be a little bit too much.
Like, I wouldn't fade SGA at home. I just probably want to see how their fully loaded Minnesota Timberwolves starting rotation is against SGA. Those numbers you can't really use. So,
Yeah.
no SGA.
Mm-mm.
Anyone in OKC that you would look at?
For OKC, Lou Dort, he's been pretty good making threes, especially at home. I think his number is 1.5.
Usually it is.
That'd probably be one of my favorites. I mean, he's been consistent in that role. So that's the first person that comes to mind. Other than that, yeah, that's the best one to me.
Yeah,
I
I was
have
looking
faith
at
in
Lou
him.
Dort. I just can't trust him. But I don't have a problem with Lou Dort threes. I discovered that 2 years ago. It was freaking awesome. And he was like Desmond Bane for me, except a little bit more inconsistent than Desmond Bane. I want to get your thoughts on the Knicks, though, before I let you go. Also, it's great for social media to be able to post you talking about the Knicks tomorrow. Game 1 at Madison Square Garden. You've got the New York Knicks taking on the Indiana Pacers. Thoughts on the game? Thoughts on the series?
Well, the series is one thing, the game is another. But I think you can't ignore. I mean, this team beat New York last season in the playoffs. So New York remembers that.
Injuries.
Yeah, they were injured and they didn't have Karl Anthony Towns. They didn't have Bridges. Those are, 2 really good major additions to this team. Right now, they're healthy. They're at home. This Indiana team, too, like they've been off for so long. We always talk about rest versus rust, right? They've been off for like a week. They're the team that could really come out rusty. And I don't think New York is overlooking this game or coming out rusty at all. So I think they throw the first punch and don't look back. I think they can also have a really big edge on the rebounds. And I just think after that first quarter, especially with the crowd and just how everything went last year, they run away with this game. So I like the Knicks in the first one. I'll leave it alone because I don't want to upset you.
I knew you wouldn't go with the Knicks in the series. I knew it. You are too much of a hater. There was no way it was going to happen.
They could win, but I'm not
Don't
putting my
you
money
agree
on
with
them to
me
win.
that the NBA does not want to see the Pacers in the NBA Finals?
That
Unless
makes
they
sense
were
to me.
playing the Lakers, unless it was Golden State, then it wouldn't matter. But anyone out of the West is not intriguing people the way the Knicks will out of the East.
I agree with you 100% on that. I think that the NBA would much rather have the Knicks. They can make a lot more money, etc. And that's I agree with.
There's
So you
the
could,
revenge factor. I truthfully, and I'm not a diehard Knicks fan. I just love giving you crap. I really have not been a diehard Knicks fan my whole
yeah, you're
life.
just a Mitchell Robinson fan.
I just love Mitchell Robinson. I love what it's doing for New York. However, I could definitely see the Knicks getting to the NBA Finals and losing.
Yes, I could too. I think that, man, I'll be honest. I don't, there's only one team I don't want to win. And it's
It's the
not the
Knicks.
Knicks. It's not the
Oh,
Knicks. It's OKC. I do not
yeah.
want OKC to win at all. I don't think they're that good that they should win the NBA championship. Any other team, I'll be happy for to win. Who I'm rooting
It would
for?
be a great NBA Finals story to have the T-Wolves versus the Knicks for Cat and Randall going head to head.
Yeah. It'll be two teams that won the trade and made it to the finals. That's a pretty good story. I mean, for the script writers, right?
Yeah, it's all about the script. They were saying the NBA ratings were down all year. They've been saying the NBA ratings have been down for years. This would be them coming like baseball's dead, and then they throw Judge versus Ohtani in the World Series. Well, it's like a little bit smaller of a scale than that. No offense. Players that you would target, though, for the Knicks-Pacers game tomorrow.
Good question. I haven't really thought about that, but I think that Cat, I'm unsure. I'm kind of just,
Cat's hard.
yeah,
He's a hard
I
one to
don't know.
cap. What about Josh Hart rebounds?
That's always good. I mean, I never gonna talk you off Josh Hart rebounds.
You'll
He's
talk me
pretty
off it
consistent.
tomorrow. I'll text you tomorrow morning, and you'll be like, nah.
Oh my God.
Hakeem, thank you so much for coming on the show. As always, I appreciate you. I'm sure I will be texting with you maybe throughout the course of the night. Good luck with your bets later, and I'll see you soon.
You too. Thanks for having me.
My turn. Let's talk about what I see on the card tonight. We talked pretty much everything I thought about the NBA with Hakeem. I wanted to run those props by him, so he agreed with me. Anthony Edwards tonight, either under or stay away from his points. Maybe you look at assists like Hakeem said. That number is way too high for Anthony Edwards at 25.5. I would stay away. When it comes to SGA, he has great numbers against the T-Wolves, but you have to remember that the T-Wolves were not with Gobert or Randall in 3 of the 4 games this season. I'm really just sitting back and watching a little bit of this series because there's not much of a regular season sample size for me. But Naz Reid over on his points and rebounds is what Hakeem likes tonight. In Major League Baseball, these are my strikeout props to watch for the night. You've got great value on the over for Clay Holmes, and the number's been moving in the Mets' favor a little bit today against the Red Sox. So I started the season fading Clay Holmes. Obviously, he left the Yankees, but he was terrible with the Yankees. Didn't really think he was going to be that great with the Mets, but he has done a great job punching out the lineups that he's supposed to strike out. He's even had some great strikeout performances against these low K rate teams. The only actual strikeout prone lineup, though, that Holmes faced this season was the Marlins. He had 6 strikeouts, or excuse me, he had 6 and 10 strikeouts in 2 starts against Miami. So he's gone over 5.5 before. Red Sox are on the higher strikeout scale, averaging just over 5 strikeouts a game against righty starters. The books know that, though, 16 and 19 over under against Boston. So take that for what it is, but it's plus money to the over if you wanted a plus money play there. Tarek Skubal, I saw you guys writing it in the chat. You all were asking about Skubal today. Big fan, big fan. So I normally stay away from these higher strikeout ace pitching props. If you got the PropQueen.com newsletter this morning, you would have seen that I like Skubal over. I didn't check the updated line, but I did see 7.5s out there. So I'm hoping some of you guys got 6.5. Skubal has faced 9 high K rate teams against lefties. He's gone over 6.5 strikeouts in 6 of those 9 starts, including 3 of 4 on the road. prior to this start against the Red Sox, prior to his last start against the Red Sox, Skubal was 4-0 with a sub-1 ERA. It was like a .97 through 6 starts with 50 strikeouts, 1 walk. Skubal leads the majors in strikeout to walk ratio. The Tigers, their bullpen right now, struggling. ERA just below a 6 in the last 9 games, so if they could keep their ace in, Detroit will. The reason it's a great matchup for Skubal, lefty starters 10-3 over under their K-prop, averaging just over 5 strikeouts a start against the Cardinals. Most recently, Mackenzie Gore had 7, Sanchez had 8, Reagan's had 7, so they all went over 6.5. Don't grab 7.5. I don't like a 7.5, but I do like the 6.5 to the over. Kansas City Royals, their righty Michael Lorenzen. I don't love that he has horrible numbers against the Giants in his career. However, with plus 115 to the over, Lorenzen's faced 2 high K rate teams against righties this year. Hit 7 strikeouts in 6 innings against Colorado, 7 strikeouts in 7 innings against Boston. The Royals, their bullpen, extremely taxed. They have high leverage arms like Carlos Estevez, John Schreiber, Daniel Lynch. They've all pitched back-to-back days. That's going to keep Lorenzen in the game longer. The Giants strike out a lot. They're averaging 5.5 strikeouts a game against righties, 19 overs, 13 unders. In fact, 6 of the last 7 right-handers to start against the Giants went over 4.5 strikeouts. So you could look there. The Athletics righty, Gunnar Hoglund, you probably don't know him, over 4.5 Ks. He's made 3 starts for the Athletics. Just one of those outings was against the high K rate lineup. Hoglund had 7 strikeouts in 6 innings on the road against the Marlins in that start. He even struck out 5 Dodgers in his last start in LA. Hoglund's thrown 90 or more pitches, threw 5 1/3 in his last 2 outings, so he stays in the game about 6 and into the 6th. The Angels are striking out a lot. 23 overs, 15 unders, averaging just over 6 strikeouts a game when facing a righty starter. 8 of the last 10 righty starters to face the Angels have gone over 4.5 Ks, so you could look there for Hoglund. I said some of you might not know, not all of you. I said some of you might not know. He's only made 3 starts this year. Sean, I'm not calling you all out. Some people just want to know these things. Some batter overs that I put in the PropQueen.com spreadsheet, the PropQueen.com newsletter. Bryce Harper, great numbers against Antonio Sensatella. He's 5 for 15 with a double and 2 home runs. Nick Castellanos, 400 average, double and a triple. Tyler Stevenson hitting 533 with a double and 2 home runs against Bailey Falter. Spencer Steer hitting 500 with 2 doubles and a homer against Falter. Rowdy Tellez, 357, a double, 2 home runs against Bryce Wilson. Xander Bogaerts hitting 556 with a homer against Bassett. Not a lot of at-bats though. Anthony Santander, 5 for 16 with a double, a homer against Dylan Cease. Javi Baez, not a lot of at-bats, but 2 home runs and a double in just 8 at-bats against Eric Fetty. Wilmer Flores hitting 500 with 3 bombs against Michael Lorenzen. DJ LeMahieu, the crazy one, hitting 379 with 3 triples and 6 home runs against Patrick Corbin. Cody Bellinger, who's also on absolute fire right now for the last couple of weeks. He's hitting 391 with a double against Corbin. Luis Garcia Jr. There's a Luis Garcia on the Astros. Luis Garcia Jr. on the Nationals, hitting 385 with a double and 2 homers against Spencer Strider. How many people could say they have those numbers against Strider? Pete Alonso also has good numbers against Walker Buehler. I feel like he's kind of due. It's been a really rough couple of games for Alonso defensively. He's got 4 home runs against Walker Buehler. Unders. Just 2 that stood out in these matchups. Freddie Freeman, 2 for 10 with a K against Ryan Nelson. Juan Soto, struggles might continue tonight. 235 with 3 strikeouts against Walker Buehler. I'm going to go over again today. There are 2 games today with fishy lines. Let's start with the first one, the Cubbies and the Marlins. I don't love this one as much because I don't like when 2 pitchers just faced these opponents in their last outing, and that's what's happening tonight with Jameson Taillon and Ryan Weathers. They both just faced each other in their last start. Also, the line's moving in favor of Miami, which is the team that won in that last start. So that also scares me. But the only thing I could think about as to why the public is on the Cubs and the line has moved like 20-something cents against them is because of bullpens. Also Tyone. But like Tyone's ERA goes up on the road to begin with. He already gave up 3 home runs to this Marlins team in Wrigley. And again, you could say wind. But Tyone's ERA goes up by like a run and a half when he's on the road. He's allowed 8 home runs in 16 innings over his last 3 starts, which is the second most home runs in that span of Major League Baseball. Nearly half the Marlins' home wins this season, 6 of their 13 have come off a walk-off. Miami's 13-13 at home and then 6-14 on the road, so they play better at home. They walk off people, so like if you've got them deep into a game in a close game, you're going Miami over the Cubs. The Cubs are at 500 in games decided by 3 runs or fewer. Yet when the Cubs could blow you out 4 runs or more, they're 17-9. The bullpen has just been blowing these chances. The Cubs have converted in 10 of 18 save chances this year. They own the 5th most bullpen losses on the season. I don't love, again, that this is like a back-to-back kind of situation, but I'm just telling you, overnight, the line moved a ton against the Cubs. The other fishy line of the night, the Houston Astros at the Rays. So Rays starter Zach Littell is 3-0 with a 3.20 ERA in his last 4 starts. All of those were Rays wins. Littell had a rough start to the season with a 5.28 ERA through his first 5 starts. He said to reporters, Littell was trying to improve his posture on the mound, so it was hard for him to get the mechanics all sorted out to start the season, which is why he started off struggling. However, he's doing better in the last 4 starts. Littell's also 2-0 with a 2.30 ERA in 3 career starts against the Astros. As for Astros southpaw Brandon Walter, he's making his first career start. He threw before in the bigs in 2023 with the Red Sox, posted a 6.26 ERA and 9 relief appearances. The Astros also could be without their closer Josh Hader because he's pitched in 3 of the last 4 days. So if there was a fishy line that I'd be looking at, I know that the Rays have been bad, and the Astros have been on a better, like on a more of a winning streak, but Rays are nothing in this spot. That's a big move against the public. DJ and Alonso home run prop. Why would you? You're parlay, Sean. No, come on. We're not doing this nonsense. We're not parlaying home run props. No. We are not that desperate. Bet them separately. If you hit one, you'll be profitable tonight. We are not parlaying home run props. That is the last thing I would do. I would parlay other props. I would not parlay a home run prop. I don't even like betting home run props. Here's what I do like betting. I like my Royal Locks. Royal Locks of the day. Of course, they are my 2 strikeout props that I like the most, starting with the ace for the Detroit Tigers, Tarek Skubal, over 6.5 Ks, not 7.5. I like this because he's gone over 6.5 Ks in 6 of 9 starts, including 3 of 4 on the road against high K rate teams against Southpaws. Plus, the Tigers bullpen has not been good recently, so you could keep him in long enough. Lefty starters, 10 overs, 3 unders against the St. Louis Cardinals this year. They're averaging just over 5 strikeouts to start. I put him in the category of strikeout pitchers, like recently Mackenzie Gore, 7 strikeouts, Christopher Sanchez, 8 strikeouts, Colt Reagan, 7 strikeouts. The reigning Cy Young winner, Tarek Skubal, can also hit 7 strikeouts against this team, so take us over. Late night, the Athletics righty, Gunnar Hoglund, over 4.5 Ks. He had 7 strikeouts in 6 innings when he was on the road against the Marlins in his sole start against a team with a high K rate against righties. He even had 5 strikeouts against the Dodgers when he faced them in LA. So playing at home, I do like his over against an Angels team that's striking out a lot this year. 23 overs, 15 unders against the Angels this season when a righty starter is against them, averaging just over 6 strikeouts a game. 8 of the last 10 righty starters to face the Angels went over 4.5 strikeouts. So those are my Royal Locks of the day. Hopefully I picked the right starting pitchers to go over their strikeout props, because recently, FYI, Tigers had a bullpen day yesterday and another tomorrow. Yeah, and also they've been struggling. So not only has one of the best bullpens in baseball, the Detroit Tigers, been struggling, they've also been throwing bullpen games. So Tarek Skubal, stay in the game long enough, please, to go over. It's been a weird thing. on the propqueen.com newsletter, I have been giving out these strikeout props where I say, like, I give you my long list because I always pick the wrong ones on the long list. That's why I do it. You guys can pick smarter than me. I'm just hoping today's a different story. I didn't have a good day yesterday. I would like to have a better day today. Royal locks of the day, 2 strikeout props. We had great guests on the show. Mark Zinno came and gave Major League Baseball NBA plays. Hakeem Profit gave out WNBA and NBA plays. We even talked about the Knicks a little bit tomorrow night against the Pacers and how Hakeem is not going to be betting on the Knicks. But, well, he's going to bet them tomorrow, but not the full series. When it comes to tonight's game, T-Wolves and OKC, I do hope it's a good game. I am very worried about a 7.5 point spread, but I do think this could be close. Again, it does scare me with the public because the public is all over the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's fine. Thank you, everybody, for joining the show. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time here on the Prop Queen Pod. Good luck to all of your bets. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube page at Prop Queen Sports. It would mean a lot to me. There's like thousands of you on here, and I only have 270 subscribers on the YouTube page. I'm a little offended. I try to give you winners. I hope that you guys have a profitable evening. See you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern.